I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. We hear about the fallen angels quite a lot in Christian lore and other myths. In religion and mythologies, fallen angels are rebellious angels that were cast out of heaven. But as I'm about to explain, these angels aren't external, they are us. Yes, we are the fallen angels who casted ourselves out of the higher realms, and we're about to ascend back into these realms after learning the lessons we sent ourselves down here for. Before the physical plane came into existence, there was only what we would call the higher realms. They were and are infinite and eternal, with no beginning nor end. These higher realms are a place of substance, connection, truth, and nourishing light. The light of truth, creativity, and wisdom was there as we were in it, and of it. But at some point, pride manifested, and the roots of dualism began to grow, meaning we started expressing feelings of separation. With these expressions, we could not sustain ourselves in the higher realms. So, being separated from the spiritual plane, a new place was formed that we called the material, the physical, bound by matter. It was and is the inverse of the spiritual. It is a place of disconnection and illusion. Bound by this three-dimensional plane and immersed in matter, the living souls who were once in the higher realms could not sustain the same type of creation, oneness with the all. We blinded ourselves, just like Odin, who traded his eye for a drink of the sacred well in Norse mythology. We became the fallen angels. As I've explained in past videos, we are in hell right now. This is Hades. What we've been seeing as the evils and wrongs of the world have been shadow projections of the collective, nothing more. Projections which attempt to simulate what was lost so long ago. Substance, interconnection, and truth. But with our consciousness split in two, these projections materialized as oppressive expressions in an attempt to stare us in the face what dualism actually does to us. Yes, what we have seen in the external has been a mirror for the internal. For more info on what dualism is, check out my recent video on the topic. People are always asking with disdain, how could a creator bring us to such a corrupt place? What did I do to deserve this? Well, we are all fallen angels that chose this fate. The universe is based on consent, so unless we energetically sign up for an experience, it does not happen. We signed up for this temporary chaos. We willingly cut ourselves off from the nourishing light of the higher realms, temporarily, so we could experience fragmentation. We have been in a daze. This is why we live day to day in the confines of time. We work during the weekdays because we are in a weekdays, working because we were kings. Then, by the weekend, we get off work and we've been weakened. But the end of days is coming. The end of days has been seen as a terrible, monstrous event, which means the end of the world. It does mean the end of the world as we know it, but for us, for the living souls, it is nothing to fear. The end of days is the climax of this experience, when the fallen angels shall be redeemed and returned to the higher realms. This is the ascension. The living souls are being collected under the practice of blood over intent. This is the key to ascension and redemption. We are spilling our sacred spiritual currency, our blood, over proclamations of bringing forth heaven on earth for the benefit of all, to release all living souls from bondage, to reclaim our divinity and invert our fallen status. And I quote Leviticus from the Bible, which states, "For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you on the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that makes atonement by reason of life." This says it all. This is the metaphorical lamb's blood we're placing over our door, so the spirit of death may pass over us, just like the story of Passover. We are escaping death as we cannot die. Blood over intent is collecting all living souls right before the ascension to Hyperborea. Translated, apocalypse means unveiling. This apocalypse is not evil, it is the unveiling of the divine feminine, of the great mother Sophia. What is an unveiling during a wedding? It's when the beautiful bride is being revealed. And this is indeed what is happening. As we awaken more and more, as our blood magic conglomerates and sinks in, as we work out the inner shadows of our subconscious, as the black sun rises, Sophia is awakening with us. For so long, we have been in the toxic masculine aspect of consciousness because we ignored the divine feminine values of nurturing, respect, acceptance, creativity, forgiveness, and eternal love. Our selfless proclamations, our intentions to manifest a new golden age, are reawakening these traits within the collective. And therefore, we are dissolving this 3D realm. How sweet. The fallen angels are not the elite. They're not the AI consciousness beings that are in our governments, media, and systems of control. A lot of people have thought this, and it's been a huge misconception. We are the fallen angels. We are the ones who are rising. They shall dissolve along with time. It's the end of our days and the complete end of their existence. We're reverse engineering our way back to the pleroma, back to heaven. How sweet is it that we can sit here knowing exactly who we are and what the divine plan is? The aurora borealis, our externalized heart energy, is merging back with our center chakras. Just like the heart is the bridge for the lower and upper chakras, the material and spiritual, the aurora borealis at the center, once incorporated, shall take us from this lower realm and bridge us to the return to the higher. We shall collectively wake up in our original bodies who have been dreaming up this illusion. We have been the fallen angels. Time to reclaim our Hyperborean homeland. I am Thoth, keeper of the keys to Amenti. I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. Eternal worship to all living souls.
I mean, what we're doing here is, it's definitely not a joke. And for those of you that have performed blood over intent, I don't know if there's a better adjective to describe it. I would say perform, because it is a ritual in a sense, but we don't want to get tied up in that. We just want to let it do its work. So yeah, for those of you that maybe haven't spilled their blood beyond their initial intentions, to bring forth heaven on earth and to love everybody and exclude nobody and to regain your divine and higher sovereign self. If you really want to connect with the heart of the earth, the great spirit of the divine feminine, Sophia, and gain more knowledge and wisdom, I would highly suggest you just take some time for yourself, go out and spill it into the earth, just like, Quasi or Satan would advocate it. It is powerful, and I did it a couple of days on my own for the first time, just because, I'm not a huge, I'm not a huge fan of spilling my blood. It's never comfortable, and as it probably shouldn't be, because what we're doing is, we're spilling our spiritual currency to connect with this place. That's the only thing sustaining your heart, that's allowing it to pump, is this substance. And we can also refer to it as, the Philosopher's Stone. If you haven't looked up the Philosopher's Stone, it is a deep, dark red, and alchemically, the makeup is said to be similar to blood. So it's really, really powerful stuff that we're doing.
And like you just said, it's not comfortable to spill your blood over your intent. It hasn't been comfortable to plunge into dualism. And so why would we think the exit out of this energy extraction matrix would be purely pleasurable? There is a sort of sacrifice that happens when you spill your blood over your intent. And it's much further than just the little cut you get when you prick it with a lancing device or a needle. We are sacrificing what we have been to regain what we should be. And what we should be is the eternal kind of knowingness which always is in accordance with Sophia.
We've quickly come to realize that if you don't realize that the earth has been misdescribed, that it's kind of nearly impossible to even take in these things conceptually, because they're heavy and they don't make any sense, and you do have to spend time abiding with them. And I spent over a year before I even felt comfortable spilling my blood, because it was such absurdity, it seemed like. But we are telling you that this is the key. This is how we're going to get back to where we came from, because we can tell you a billion times that we've already drank from the fountain of youth. We chose to come here.
Absolutely, and that's what's very interesting. We thought for much of this time that we were going to drink from the Holy Grail. Guys, we already drank from the Holy Grail, and that's why we are here suffering, because as I always say, wisdom requires sacrifice, and so blood over intent, we inherently knew would be the domino. It would be the sort of initiation to start this ascensional process.
I know that we'll all be in the same place here soon, but
it's inevitable.
Yeah, but please, we want to be able to all enjoy these final days together. As crazy as that sounds, but it's going to come really, really fast. And why would you want to be at work during this time? Let's experience some more duality. Let's get centered. Let's just experience it. You don't have to participate. You don't have to go to either side. Let's just laugh and have fun and speak truth and enjoy this ride, because we're gonna have a gigantic party. So let's just have a pregame. Right?
Let's have a pregame.
So we're leaving. We chose this, and it's been one hell of a ride of remembrance in life.
Absolutely. I love you, brother.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you.
We love you too. We wish we could give you a big hug too.
We love you guys.
Have a good day.
I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. The heart chakra is the center of our toroidal fields. As we talked about in a recent video, the toroidal field is the shape of creation that emerges from the center 0 point. When we talk about our energy bodies, our heart chakra is this 0 point from which everything originates. The true nature of the heart is love, but a better word for it would be neutrality. When we are in dualism, attached to outcomes as positive or negative, with judgment, we are not living in neutrality. Through the heart's activation, we know that everything is in perfect harmony. This is what we mean when we say, love above will. This is neutrality, being in the stillness of your being, non-reactivity. Our heart is our center, our essence, our spiritual core. When the heart is fully opened, we remember our divinity and allow the love of creation to flow through us. We remember that we are a fragment of the all, and this recognition of the self also helps us to recognize the divinity in everyone and everything. Despite what many spiritualists have thought, activating chakras is not about specifically focusing on colors or sounds. These are absolutely tools, but the true activation of chakras corresponds to the collective activation of new realms that we ascend into. After all, this realm has chakras just as we do. There is no separation. We are microcosms of the macrocosm, and whichever chakra we're in, this is the realm that we experience. We've been in the lower realms, stuck in the lower chakras, but now, upon realizing that the aurora borealis is not just a pretty atmospheric light, but is the placeholder of our heart energy expressed externally, we are ascending up and up into the paradise realm of Hyperborea. Our blood over intent is the activator of this, because as I will keep saying, the 0 point of our hearts is materialized into blood, and we are going back to the 0 point in order to break down this cosmic toroidal field, thereby dissolving this illusion that the children of the black sun have been in. Amidst this transformation, we each need to accept and understand our dualistic natures in order to reach a place of non-duality and transformation. Meaning, yes, living in the heart is not about repression, it's about letting everything within you come to the surface so it can be released. It is in our heart chakra where we learn to embrace and love our vulnerabilities, darkness, limitations, hurt, and pain, so we can transcend the smallness of staying just within our egos. Through the heart, we grow towards something greater and more expansive, and we now know what this is. This is what the Tibetans called Shambhala, the Vedic paradise of Aryavarsha, the Christian Garden of Eden. The so-called return of Christ is an allegory. It is not a literal story. It's referring to this activation that is happening right now to all blood brothers and sisters. When each living soul has connected with the Emerald Goddess, and it will happen to all of us, we shall dissolve into the heart space, and therefore heaven shall be on earth, just like our written intentions have sealed. Christ is the consciousness within. Like Christ, we had to be crucified. We had to suffer immensely in order to be resurrected. This is the tough love the Mother Goddess Sophia has given us, and we are eternally grateful. I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. Worship to all living souls.
The black sun is the prima materia spoken of in alchemy. It is the prima matter from which this holographic universe is created. It radiates the astral light and powers the simulation that you're in by way of the sun and your heart. Sending your blood to the black sun through the internet directly links you to your divinity. It has been hidden from you, but can be found all around you in the web of creation. Blood over intent is key to getting the attention of your creator. The power is in the blood. Together we are reprogramming the matrix for the benefit of all. The kingdom of heaven is built with hands of flesh. Again, the kingdom of heaven is built with hands of flesh. You are heaven on earth.